This is TMI, reaching you live from Benin City, Edo State, Nigeria. And this segment is all about the new acting. Yes, I want to see the new INEC chairman's acting capacity. The person of May Agbamuche. Yes, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu has stepped down because according to the Constitution, after 5 years, the person in charge, which is Mr. President, have the right to say, okay, fine, go for another 5 years or step aside. Right now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu opt for the second option, which is step down for someone else to enter. Now we have a woman in acting capacity in the person of May Agbamuche. And I just been talking about this. Take a look at the Constitution. Yes, give the president the power to elect an INEC chairman, but it's not left for the red chamber to say either particular person is worth the position. Right now we have an acting chairman not given to the red chamber yet because she's not the one, or she's not the one that been chosen by Mr. President, but according to hierarchy, she's the oldest in the commission as of this particular point in time. She's in their acting capacity. And I've been talking about the selection process. With this man in charge, or we anticipating the new INEC chairman, would the story change? Would it better for us in terms of conducting election? Would the elections be free, fair, and credible? Remember, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu was remembered, or we remembered rather, by the innovation it brought into, the electoral body. Yes, beavers working in some areas, malfunctioning in some other areas, not networking in one area. You know the story too, but it's that beaver seems to be the ultimate. And what some people are saying still remains that maybe that beavers was fully adhered to in the last presidential election, or might have gotten something else, some other results. But I don't know about that. I want my guests to really throw a light into this. Me in the studio, I have a one-time candidate, yes, governorship candidate in Edo State. He's an author, a businessman, a politician, entrepreneur. Join me to welcome Bishop Akalame. Bishop, it's good to have you on this platform.
Thank you very much, Wisi.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
You just disappeared.
Very busy.
You disappeared on me.
Yeah. Good morning, viewers.
All right. Very close to me, he is a clergyman, a political analyst, political affairs commentator. Join me to welcome Bishop Bright Olumese. Yes, I call him the real bishop. That's political bishop. But they're all bishops, all the same. Bishop, thank you for coming on today's show.
Thank you, Mr. Wisi. Good morning, and good morning, viewers at home.
Thanks also for coming. Yeah. Now, let me come to you, Bishop Akalame. There's been a change of guard. Whether she is the real deal, according to reports, she's going to be acting very soon in, let's say, the capacity of an INEC chairman, selected by the president, signed also or approved rather by the Senate. We have a woman there in the Helms of Affairs. There used to be Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. Right now, he's no longer in that position. Some are saying that this might just be what Nigerians have been waiting for. There might just be changes. But what do you feel about this, generally speaking, before going to the nitty-gritty of our discussion?
Thank you very much. It's a good thing, and it's a welcome development where we have leadership transition. And we should not forget that the Independent National Electoral Commission is the bedrock of Nigerian democracy. At any time there is leadership transition in such institution, the people expected a kind of renewed hope, scrutiny, and a kind of change that will bring about change in tone, change in philosophy, change in operational integrity. We want to see a rebrand INEC. INEC, a new INEC, a new face, a new era for INEC. Because I can tell you the truth of the matter is that the people have lost confidence in this commission. So people want to have an institution that will conduct a credible elections. Nigeria don't just want to see elections be conducted, but credible elections that will give room or give birth to leaders having the capacity to develop this country having the capacity to deliver of good dividend of democracy that will improve on the life of the people of this country. So we cannot discuss democracy without having an institution that is well rooted, an institution that is unbiased, an institution that is truly independent. Let Chairman Agbamuche be the new face of INEC that will bring transformation, that will bring a lasting solution to the long-standing electoral issues, fraud we have been having in the country. For me, I am happy because anytime we have a change of leadership, we expect so much. So Nigerians are watching very closely to see the kind of change that Chairman Agbamuche will bring on board.
All right, thank you so much, Bishop Akalame, for your opening remark. You are in tune, you are in support of Chairman Agbamuche, remaining there according to you. Well, Bishop Bright, do you share his views, or do you feel that it's going to be the same old story?
Okay, good morning once again, Nigerians and viewers at home. It's the same Nigeria story. The INEC situation, though independent, in quotes, but the constitution of this country and the electoral acts, this is where we are again, and the president will have to appoint an INEC chairman. What do you expect from there? Whoever is going to appoint will sit face to face with him, and these are the questions. Are you ready to work with me? So now, on what ground will that person now be able to drive his own reform when you are working for who appointed you?
But it's saying they're independent.
Yes, that's what in quotes. So, in other words, Agbamuche is just a holder. It wasn't an appointee of the president. You heard what Mahmoud said, that she's one of the most senior commissioner by appointment in the commission. So he has been asked to go on terminal leave. So in other words, he ought to have been having some few months because he came in 2015. He has done 2 tenure.
That's 10 years.
Another 10 years. So now, in other words, going back to Mahmoud, you could see a fair institution. An institution that he had handed over glitches with all the investment and all the hope of Nigeria. But will you blame him and all of that when election results were declared where Nigerians who voted were as far asleep? When people who were party agents raised concerns, say go to court and all of that. So for me, that is the legacy of Mahmoud. But now going forward, if Nigerians can't raise up their voice, because there's already a cry the other way around. Why will Nigeria be unfair? Obasanjo appointed the INEC chairman. Yaradua appointed INEC chairman. Jonathan appointed INEC chairman. Buhari appointed INEC chairman. Why would they be different in the time of Tinubu? I think there's a saying that said that you can't going to do same thing same way. I expect different results. If we want different results, allowing Mr. President to appoint whoever, wherever, I want free and fair election. Please, just it's wishful thinking. So this is my position. If the Electoral Act, if the Constitution is not amended, that okay, a panel of a reputable individual, senior, very high senior citizens will come together to say, okay, let's do a round table, let's do a referendum, who become an INEC chairman, will still fall back to this complaint of glitches here, glitches there, place of interest, either the Vivas. Vivas was supposed to be a good system. Yes, and all of that. How can you now say that you have the electronic means of transmitting results, yet you don't accept that as your means of results? So no, it's quite, because that is not, you cannot blame Mahmoud for that. It's what the electoral has said. So that's why people who went to court on the presidential election couldn't really do well because the Electoral Act had not empowered that Vivas. What was in that Vivas? You can imagine an election. What is in the Vivas is different from what is written on the print paper. So and the court said the print paper has it because that's what the Electoral Act said.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Bishop, he doesn't share your sentiment. He says it's going to be the same old story as long as Mr. President is one selecting INEC chairman. As it stands right now, she's in an acting capacity because she's the oldest in that particular commission. But Mr. President haven't said anything yet. Remember that Mahmoud brought about some innovation vis-a-vis Beavers. During the time of Mahmoud, that's where we had these electoral reforms, which some persons haven't signed into law, kicked against it. Now, what do you feel that Agbamuche will bring to the table before either she's told to retire or continue? This is Nigeria, and it can happen. Go ahead.
First of all, I want to posit that
yes,
the INEC chairman should be someone that we should be viewed beyond academic credentials. We should have to look at the personal integrity of that personality. We look at his moral courage. Then, of course, we also look at his leadership ethos. These are the kind of character we need to head INEC. Before we can think about what it can bring aboard, if this character are not looked into, then the hope of Nigeria will be dashed. Because someone without integrity cannot become INEC chairman. Someone without moral courage cannot become INEC chairman. Someone without leadership ethos cannot become INEC chairman. So let's assume that Chairman Agbamuche possesses all these qualities outside the academic credentials. Now, what does she need to bring aboard? What are the key expectations of Nigeria? There are a lot of discussion everywhere. A lot of issues among Nigerians, controversies associated with the credibility of the institution, INEC. Now, let's be that now that it has come, that things will change. What are Nigeria's expectations? Nigeria want to see an INEC with credibility. Nigeria want to see what is called institutional credibility. Agbamuche should be able to be a chairman that will be able to build trust in INEC. Because the public confidence is no longer there. People don't trust the commission. Let it be that Agbamuche will be a chairman that will oversee the affairs of INEC, that who win an election will be announced after the election. So, in doing that, we want to restore that electoral confidence. Nigeria want to see a technological consistency. That means we want to see the transparency and credibility of the beavers. So, these are the things. Then Nigeria just want to see what is called the operational integrity, the operational independence of the commission. Fine and good that the president appoints, but don't forget that we the citizens cannot pay the INEC chairman. The government is the one in duty, a responsibility of the government to pay the remuneration and the salaries and the welfare, care for the welfare of the INEC chairman.
All right.
But what matters is the personal integrity and the character of the person involved. That if you are heading a commission that is truly independent, then your character, your leadership should be able to describe that which you stand for and give Nigeria the best.
All right. We'll go for a short break. When we return, we'll continue this discussion. Do not go away. We'll be right back. Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is TMI. We're taking a look at, yes, the new morning charge. Of course, it's a woman, but the office, as chairman, so I have to go with the terminology, man. For those that asking, her name is May Agbamuche. I have Bishop Bright Olumese and, of course, Bishop Akalame here with me in the studio. They are sharing their opinions and, of course, their views on this particular discussion. Now, Bishop Bright, you talked about the person in charge asking the one that is to conduct election if you can't work with me. Do you see May Agbamuche as that person that can easily be, twisted to the will of the person in charge right now, which is Mr. President?
Okay, will without power is helpless. Now we're looking at the system that brought you. All of the men that have come through there, they have will. This country, you will be pressured to do. Even find that you hear that people are, even their lives are they are under threat, their family are under threat. So we want to see this. This is my take. We want to see within this period of Agbamuche, if it's possible, if he can work with NGO to push for electoral reform.
But it's been electoral reform. So during the time of Mahmoud Yakubu, that's why Beavers came into the scene.
No, look at it. The electoral reform, when it went to National Assembly, so many of the clauses were dropped, tampered with, including the clauses that back this BVA, an electronic transmission of results. So you are an INEC chairman, in quote or unquote, whether I think about it or whatever. If you cannot, galvanize, stay behind Nigeria, give useful information to NGOs and lobby National Assembly, you won't make history. Uwosu today still own the best history as an INEC boss in this country. We have had series of INEC chairmen. Same story. Because they are helpless. So now, in other words, any INEC chairman, this is what we are expecting of any INEC chairman that will come. Ensure that Nigerians are giving the right information. Trust Nigeria. Look at the Senator Necessary issue. Look at Nigeria coming to occupy the National Assembly. After a 6 months expiration, the Senate said that you're ready to come. But when they saw protests, pressure group, they went to unseal her office. So Nigerians just need the right information from insider so as to ensure they can compare the National Assembly, compare government. How many are members of National Assembly compared to the over 200 million Nigerians? So the point I'm making is that if INEC will truly be independent, the source of appointing them must change. If they will be allowed, if they must do their job, they must need constitutional backing. Because if you conduct any election today in Nigeria and you rely on electronic means of transmission result, my dear, go to any tribunal, it can be upturned. So, in other words, the first thing first. In Nigeria, that sit down there at 2027, if you don't do free and fair election, it will be bloody. They will not bloody anything. This 2027 will even be worse. They will call their result die night. And you will wake up, you will not even know. They can even block all the media. You won't hear the result. You won't kill yourself. This is the time for any Nigeria that aspire for good governance to say, please give us electoral reform. Occupy the office of all National Assembly members. They all have offices in their constituency. This is what we want. And all of that. So when they do public hearing, it's not the time to sit back. This is my pain. Most of the public hearing head, you will come there, the same set of people. Political sponsored people. Opposition politicians will not even come up. Will not even sponsor. You see them now go and be picking form when you know you barely have chances. I don't know the kind of miracle you are expecting. When the system, even the Bible says, when the foundation is faulty, what can the righteous do?
Are you saying that INEC foundation is faulty?
Heavy, you don't need me to tell you. Heavily questioning faulty.
All right, I'll come back to you, Bishop Bright. Let me go to Bishop Akalame. You talked about integrity. But Bishop Bright said, even if you have the will, you don't have the power. What can you do?
Let me tell you something. That is why we talk about the character of the chairman of INEC. Very crucial. Very important. We have men of integrity in this country. we should do away by professorship, all those things. But you must have the required credentials to hold that. What is important, the greatest credential is your integrity, your personal integrity, your moral courage. I have just discussed in my inauguration, that a man that is coming to occupy that office must possess these qualities. If you don't have the qualities, you have no place in the INEC office. So what I'm trying to tell you is that even we know that there's going to be a political pressure from the actors to vitiate what has transpired in the field. But if you're a man of integrity, you're going to stand your ground and this is my job. I was elected to discharge my duty without interface.
Without the interface?
Yes.
That means you lose your job. This is Nigeria, so how are you going to cope?
Let me tell you something. During the time of Jonathan, you all know what happened. Who was there? Jega was there, Professor Jega. He did his job. The city president lost his office to President Buhari.
Some say you cannot, how would I put it now, compare Jonathan to Tinubu?
Let me tell you something.
There are two different personalities.
See, this is democracy. Do your job. Let the world see what is happening. That's why you see that one of the things that we expect from the INEC, if you must do their job very well, is that there must be a kind of public engagement. They should bridge the communication with the citizens and the civil society. Engage the people. Inform the people of what is happening. When you carry people along, then we're able to do a lot of things that will help Nigerian democracy. At this time, I have to engage what I called electoral reform within INEC. Strengthen the internal control, the internal processes. To be able to define what is fraud to the employees that work in INEC. Strengthen the internal processes and hold the staff accountable. What are we doing? We are trying to see that we conduct credible elections for Nigeria. Let me tell you something. Where we have to go now, apart from blaming INEC, let's go to the base. Let's go to the foundation. It's not about who appoints INEC chairman. Why must we allow Mr. President to appoint INEC chairman? That is the issue right now. The issue is that many Nigerian politicians have taken politics as a livelihood.
As a livelihood?
Yes. As a source of livelihood. Many of them have abandoned their professions. Many of them have abandoned their core businesses. Many of them have abandoned their what they have been trained to do. They now see politics as a business. They see politics as a career. You discover that people ordinarily, if you live there with life, they will not be able to buy a good car. If you live there with life, they will not be able to build a good house. If you live there with life, they will not be able to marry a beautiful wife. By the time they occupy office, they not dress very well. They're able to buy cars, build houses everywhere, marry many wives in all over the country, have girlfriends in all the cities with the resources that belong to Nigerians. So we should make Nigeria politics part-time basis. So you are not just coming to help yourself, because many of the politicians are coming to help themselves. So if you are coming to help this country, you want to help build the country, to help develop the country, contribute to the growth and development of Nigeria, then you are coming. After you must have made it part in your profession. Take for instance, you are a child accountant who is practicing. You have been doing well in your field, making it part of your field. Now you now feel that it is time for me to serve my people. With the knowledge I have acquired, with the information I have acquired, I can put this into practice to better the life of the people. Then you're not coming to serve on part-time basis. While you go back to your what? Your job. Until we have that, we can never have a credible elections in Nigeria, because desperation will always set in.
All right, about desperation, that's why the politicians comes into play. Like what he said, it says should be on part-time basis to resist the pressure on the umpire of our elections to do the right thing. Take it up from there.
Yes, as good as what Bishop has said, you see, it boils down to constitutional amendment. Yeah, what he said that is so good, yes, but does our law support that? No. No matter how rascality anybody is, when the Constitution is to make order, law and order, and all of that. So as to ensure if you go beyond what the Constitution said, people will take you up, no matter how powerful you are. So now the Constitution has created loophole for businessmen to turn politics into their investment. What are you? What do you talked about part-time basis? I just talked about the foundation is 40. Do you know the cost of running for a president in this country? You are talking in billions. You are going to get investors to sponsor you. Now, when you don't win, you are looking for other means to pay back. Because the money will, I wonder, these people who keep contesting every 4 years, and the cost of contesting, you have to campaign in the 36 state of the federation, including the FCT Abuja, you have to have structures and all of that. How do they sponsor this and all of that? And you can see why corruption is endemic. Now listen very carefully. This is my position, that all Nigerians, I call on all well-being Nigerians, we must lend our voice. We must begin to tell all our politicians we need electoral reform. We must demand it. It won't just come, because they know that is their strength and that's our weakness. And all of that, they can take you to court, criticize a politician, then take you to court. You will be found liable for character assassination. And what you are saying would have been right, but now you don't have the constitutional word backing. Anybody who mean well for this country, first, no matter how good what you are suggesting is, we have to go back to
the Constitution.
That's the power. The court cannot just come. The court are not. They don't give judgment based on emotions, based on feeling. They give judgment based on reference to constitutional laws and order. So in other words, whether our election, you own the argument that when it is run on part-time basis will be better. I don't hold that opinion. Let's go and converse it. Let's see how it becomes a law and all of that. Running a country is a serious business. It's a serious business and all of that. But the thing I want to say is that it's not about whether part-time or not part-time. It's about the rules that will restrain you. The president of Nigeria is too powerful. In fact, after God is the president of Nigeria. A president that can literally remove a sitting governor, democratically elected governor, and no Supreme Court can sit and give orders. That's the power. Donald Trump can remove any governor in the United States. United States of America, Donald Trump sent military. The governor rejected them, said, no, I'm in charge here because of the Constitution and all of that. So what are we saying? When you absolute power corrupt absolutely.
All right. He said we should go back to the Constitution. And who are the persons in charge right now of many of our constitutions, the politicians, right? Do you feel they'll do the right thing, Bishop Akalame?
Most of the cases he raised are already, some of them are already captured in the Constitution. The problem we are having in this country is that we have leaders who do not obey the rule of law. They know what is in the Constitution, but what they do is that they ignore the provisions of the Constitution that address the situation and begin to operate as if we're in a military regime. Removing the governor, if you have listened to some legal luminary in this country, they have deposited in that line that the president has no right, has no power to remove a sitting governor that is democratically elected by the people.
But it happened.
But it happened. That's what I'm saying.
It happened.
So that's why I said most of the things he captured, most of the things he enumerated are captured in the Constitution. But why do we have such leaders with such desperation? It is because they have seen politics as a career. And apart from seeing it as a career, we have to make politics unattractive. Make it unattractive.
In what ways?
In what ways? That the remuneration, the welfare, the salary attached to a public officer, a politician that occupies a political office who want to help the people. You are coming to help. You are coming to serve. Your pay should not be too much compared to what we have right now. Do you know I was with somebody in Lagos. And he told me, he said, how is everything? He said, fine. How is politics in Edo State? I said, good. He said, politics have become the most lucrative business in Nigeria now.
Lucrative business in Nigeria?
Lucrative in Nigeria. I said, well, he said, you are land that you contested. I said, yeah, I contested. I didn't contest the election because I wanted to go and make myself. That's right. As a young guy who graduated from University of Benin, as a graduate from accounting, I'm able to develop myself academically to a PhD level, to the point that today I'm a chartered forensic accountant, doing well in my own field. So if I decide to come into politics, when I'm coming to bring in my wealth of experience, the knowledge I have to govern and better the life of the people. What has governance, political offices, and not be trusted in the hands of people who cannot bring what will change the people to the table.
All right.
Who does not have what it takes to drive the economy of this country. It's a problem. So let's make it a part-time basis. Like I just said, if Nigeria come together and united on a common purpose, irrespective of political affiliation, yes, and Nigeria become a project. Nigeria project or Nigeria interest now supersede every interest of any political party. Let's come together. Let's build Nigeria.
All right.
Then we cannot work together to say, now let's politics become a part-time business and make the salary to
less attractive.
Less attractive.
Okay. Going back again to May Abubuche, who is in charge because of his position being the oldest and all. Do you expect anything different from what Mahmoud did or Jega did, or you just start taking a look at the change of past INEC chairman, or is it going to be the same old story? Before I conclude this part of this, because I can hand over to Abuja Network Studio.
Okay, I want her to beat me to this. To me, this is what I believe is a post-Mahmoud era. And all of that. You hear what Mahmoud says, say all the senior national commissioner, they came together to discuss and say, just give it to her and all of that. I don't see any reform changes or whatever, which she even barely have the power to do. Politicians control those offices and all of that. One call, everything fall in place and all of that.
Just one call?
One call.
From the right channel, the wrong channel?
One call, election will be declared inconclusive. One call, election. This country is like a joke, you know. And the most funniest part is that how can you be joking with over 200 million Nigerians? And you will not ask, where are our, top leaders? I wouldn't want to mention them with all due respect to themselves. If these top leaders come out today to lend their voice to electoral reform, to constitutional amendment, I'm telling you, the political class are small. Politicians don't fear any other thing. They fear pressure group and all of that. We don't believe in violence. We don't want violent, but constructive way of fixing this country.
Most of this pressure group that have been bought over by politicians.
Okay, no. Politicians over the years saw the strength of pressure group. They now start sponsoring their own pressure group. So when you now come out as a protest, you now have counter protest.
So how you going to solve this?
Under payroll and all of that. So now that's the problem. But still the way to go, we can't sit down if we don't demand for what is right. Now listen, this is the problem I have. Yes. I'll tell you. Every person who would have fight for electoral reform or electoral constitutional amendment, you discover that they are not doing that because they feel that maybe tomorrow it will get to my turn. So I can have the opportunity to also see more pop form. So, but I want to call on Nigeria. What we fail to do today, we will not wait to enjoy tomorrow. And legacy will always catch up with us.
All right. Well, we've spoken at length because it's going to be a continuation from Abuja Network Center. And of course, our Lagos Network Center for my colleagues to take it a bit further on what they feel Abuja can do differently if she has the power. Because just saying acting capacity, not the main deal until Mr. President says yes to her and take her to the Senate for clearance. If not, she might just be there with less than a month or about. If it's up to a month or about before she'll be shown the exit for someone else to take over. While we are watching, we want a better umpire because many Nigerians, truthfully speaking, they are not really happy with what they are seeing that is going on inside the Independent National Electoral Commission in terms of conduct of elections. They are saying it's the politicians or whoever that's in charge of this particular election process that the ones really calling the shot. Like what Bishop said, just one call, just one call, and that's it. But is that the way it ought to be? Questions upon questions.